Good evening and welcome to the SRL Blaze Designs Cup Series race here at Talladega. We got a huge field tonight here at Talladega, the fastest track on the schedule. We got over 40 drivers, if I'm not mistaken. We have 44 drivers competing for 40 positions. It's either 40 or 43 positions. So we might have some do not qualify action here. But of course, the main story and the one that's going to be scrolling across the screen on the bottom of the race the entire way around is going to be the playoff battle. For those who do not know, the SRL Blaze Designs Cup Series has a tournament style playoff format where it is drivers going up against one other driver instead of the entire field. And we do have drivers who have already advanced into the next round because it's a 2 out of 3 decider. So this is going to be the deciding race for, let's see, let me get my list up real quick. For James Thurston, who we're looking at right now, he's going up against Sean Rowe after a very strong performance at Watkins Glen. Caleb McKinney and James Bomar going up against each other to decide who advances. James Bomar having an issue at Watkins Glen and Caleb McKinney getting bailed out by it. And most surprisingly, Van Drummond versus Joseph Lewis. Van Drummond lost connection at Watkins Glen after leading most of the race. And this allows Joseph Lewis to pull up even with him 1-1. And at Talladega of all tracks, it is an absolute roll of the dice. Sean Rowe, he won the last SuperSpeedway race at Atlanta, so he knows how to work his way around these plate tracks and work in traffic. Since he's a proven SuperSpeedway winner, and James Thurston has to have that on his mind. His one goal is to finish ahead of James Thurston. We do have a fast repair, so I'm expecting people to be pretty uninhibited, knowing that they have one fast repair to use through the race in case they get pretty bad damage. But it's anyone's game here. As long as you show up and as long as you don't wreck, you can, and you're in contention. You're one of these 6 drivers battling for your survival in the playoffs. Anything can happen here at Talladega, as we have 90 seconds left in qualifying. Let's see who's still out on track. If I can get a camera on anybody. So we currently have 42 cars that have set a qualifying time and 45 who have not. So it is we're definitely going to have some do not qualify, since I believe that the max amount of starters is 43 or 42. But it seems like most people are getting their qualifying squared away. Let's see if there's anyone still on track doing their laps. So we look at Matt Rucci, who went up to 5th place. So he's firmly secured his way in, and it seems like we don't have any drivers who are battling for the playoffs right now, battling to make it in. Looks like the first car to not be in is the 21 of Aiden McNeely, but we got 5 seconds left and qualifying is over. So let's go through your starting lineup. Let me join the voice chat real quick. Okay. So, let's go through your starting lineup once I filter everything out. Rose. All right, starting on pole is the 51 of Brady Wildman, and on his outside is the 43 of Jacob Wilkerson. Starting on the inside of row 2 is Rocky Boyd III in the number 16 with Edwin Mendez in the 40 and not the 46, the 460 on his outside, that Harrison Burton car. Starting in 5th is the 48 of Matt Rucci with playoff contender James Thurston on his outside, starting in 6th. Connor Asbell in the 72 starts on the inside of row number 4 with Jonathan T. Baker on his outside. On the inside of row number 5 is Nicholas Martinez Jr. in the 33. He's normally in the 48, but he's in the 33 for this race. And rounding out your top 10 is the 92 of Aladim Contreras. On the inside of row number 6 is Noah M. Hamilton in the number 26 with Connor Zola on his outside and number 88. On the inside of row number 7 is Tyler J. Curley. Had a very impressive run at Watkins Glen last week for his debut, looking to follow it up with another good finish. And on his outside is the 67 of John H. Jones. On the inside of row number 8 is the 62 of Peyton Carroll with Pierce Maffitt on his outside and the number 81. Justin Rod had a pretty good showing at Watkins Glen, starting on the inside of row number 9 with Hayden Wilfred on his outside and the number 35. Aaron Chugel in the 91 starts on the inside of row 10 with Matthew C. White rounding out your top 20 qualifiers here tonight at Talladega. On the inside of row 11 is Cole Denton. He's locked himself into the round of 8 and round of 16 exit. Evan Allen on his outside in the number 50 in row 11. In row 12 is the 56 of Corey Lyles with Andretti Robinson, who also exited out of the playoffs after Watkins Glen in row number 12. On the inside of row number 13 is Zaid Khan in the 45 with Henry Kaloff. Rounding out row number 13, starting off row 14 is Trevor Huff in the number 3 with Riley Garcia. Normally he runs the number 8, but this time he's running the number 40. Jordan Herring in the 072 on the inside of row number 15, and Joseph Lewis, another one of your playoff drivers, rounding out row 15. Daniel Rivera in the number 8 with Glenn Bundren Jr. in the number 37, rounding out row 16. Michael D. Kenner and Blaze McKinney make up row 17. Juan Escamilla and playoff driver Dominic Barbagallo. Barbagallo advanced to the round of 8 in the number 17. Van Drummond battling for the playoffs in row number 19 alongside him Michael Deitch. In row number 20 is Caleb McKinney with Jason Beckman on his outside. Sean Rowe squeaks into this race in the number 99 with Jaden Porter on his outside. Shockey Tarpley makes it into the race, and he is your last driver to qualify with Aiden McNeely, the first one out. Did not qualify is Xander McKinney, Dylan J. Pass, and Francis Henderson. So the ticker will go up to 47, but we do not have anyone above 43. But pace car lights are off, and the pace car is just about to pull into pit lane. Brady Wildman's going to lead the field of 43 drivers to the green flag. Green flag is out. A nice shove from Rocky Boyd in the 16 to bring Brady Wildman to the point, completely clear of any other car. He's going to jump to the high side, cut off Jacob Wilkerson, and this is going to open up the bottom side to Rocky Boyd to see if he can make anything work. Outside stack up just a little bit as Edwin Mendez in the 460 tries to get that outside line going to try and make something happen. A little bit of a wiggle on that outside line. They're not very grouped up and not packed up like the outside or like the inside line is, But now people are starting to bail out from the inside to the outside. We've got 86 laps here at Talladega. Tons of fun racing as we have Connor Zola in the 88 dive to the inside. No one to help him for miles and miles, as there's a big distance between him and Rocky Boyd. Looks like a lot of people are going to run the high line, the Dale line as they call it, as Brady Wildman will lead all of lap number 1. Lots of jockeying for position near the back, in the back of the shot, as you can see. But James Thurston, battling for the playoffs, is going to dive to the inside, and Jonathan T. Baker is going to close that hole up. Thurston cannot get back in line as cars are bouncing off the wall in the back. I don't know who that orange car was in the back of the field. But looking at Brady Wildman leading this long outside line as Connor Zola and Rocky Boyd try to get something working on the bottom. Nothing forming up just yet down there as James Thurston goes 3 wide. Maybe trying to get a middle line forming. But he's going to be in the sucker hole. As Jacob Wilkerson dives to the bottom inside line, getting a lot of speed. Connor Zola gets pushed to the apron. And he'll have to lose a lot of spots. And that's going to fragment the inside line as a middle line with Pierce Maffitt in the 81. Looking to get forward with help from James Thurston. So 3 wide on lap number 3 for about 10th spot right now. Inside line, or the inside line starting to form, middle line not having a lot of room, or not a lot of help, not a lot of room. And Pierce Maffitt is going to hemorrhage positions as Brady Wildman continues to lead the way with Edwin Mendez in that 21, faithfully pushing him along. But once this outside line stacks up, it's definitely going to invite the middle and inside lines to pull alongside. But a very coordinated, or mostly coordinated effort on the outside line as I believe that is Connor Asbell in the 72. Diving to the inside line. Did it a little early. Going to take a while for that inside line to suck up to him to get anything going. But 3x3, multiple rows deep from about 5th on back. You can go 4 wide here. It's very possible. They showed it at the actual Talladega race a couple weeks back. And Edwin Mendez might be looking to make a move as that's John Jones. John H. Jones in the number 11. Shooting to the lead with help from Rocky Boyd. Multiple car lengths between Boyd and the rest of the field, but that's going to disappear really quickly once Brady Wildman catches up to him. And John Jones dives to the bottom. James Thurston to the middle, completely abandoning John Jones. He wants to get to the front with help from Evan Allen, but Rocky Boyd is going to get some real good help from Brady Wildman. Big separation between Wildman and Edwin Mendez in that 21 car. As we approach lap number 6, Rocky Boyd, the clear leader right now, as that's Jonathan Baker making a pretty early move down to the bottom, but that's the 72 of Connor Asbell following him down there to get something on the inside line going. Evan Allen and James Thurston basically the only ones forming the middle line in this top group, but going to get some help. But it's been a high side dominated race right now, with Rocky Boyd leading the way after taking it from Brady Wildman. Wildman gets a little bit of a wiggle, maybe a bad push from that 21. As Justin Rott has made his way into the top 5. James Thurston passing Pierce Maffitt into the top 5. As Jaden Porter, who started all the way back in, I believe, 42nd. He started all the way back in like row 20. He's made his way up to the top spot in a matter of 7 laps. that's how quickly things can change here at Talladega. I mean, we got people going all the way from the back to the front, and Rocky Boyd moves down to chop off Jaden Porter and stop that momentum from overtaking him. But Jaden Porter pulls a fast one on Rocky Boyd, and he'll dive all the way to the bottom. Rocky Boyd with no help. He goes to the middle to try and stem the bleeding, and Pierce Maffitt and Andretti Robinson immediately ditch him. Now Rocky Boyd is in a tug of war right now. That middle line quickly faded back. Pierce Maffitt may not be the most stable car on that middle line, and that might be stacking him up a little bit. But we got the lowest of low lines, the highest of high lines. As something happened with Rocky Boyd, field is all sorts of scrambled up. I don't know what's happening. Whoa! I don't know who that gray and green car is, but that was a big shove. I think that is the 3 of as the caution's out. I don't know who wrecked. I was trying to see who that 0 car is, but multiple cars in the back. I saw a yellow car in the back. Multiple cars around, and they'll have to get their fast repair done quick. So let's go on standby for just one moment to see who was involved in that accident. Looking at Pierce Maffitt right now in the 81. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication on the inside line, and Maffitt tried to move down when Trevor Huff was there, and then the 62 car in front of him, and that just led to a big miscommunication. I mean, we have 4 wide with the 14 right in front of Trevor Huff, and then the 62 just goes up the track into Pierce Maffitt and causes a big stack up. That's Corey Lyles, Shockey Tarpley. That's Henry Kaloff. I don't know who that 62 is. The name tag's a little bit mucked up. But yeah, Corey Lyles, big hit, and Shockey Tarpley involved in it as well as the car scrambled out. That's playoff driver Joseph Lewis involved as he gets into Corey Lyles, sorry. Had a little bit of a brain fart. Looks like, but problems for everyone involved. As that's Peyton Carroll in the 62. My apologies for not being able to say, but that's a pretty damaged 62 car. And that seems to be what the crash was mostly localized to. Henry Kaloff, Connors Adam Contreras with a lot of damage. Shockey Tarpley in that pink 25 with a lot of damage. But oops, sorry, didn't mean to show that part. But Jaden Porter is going to be your current leader. And let's get this out of slow-mo real quick. So lap number 10, and we are under our first caution of the day. And your current leader is that number 96 of James Thurston after pit stops. On these super speedways, most of the time, the pit stops is going to be for fuel only. Tires don't really matter that much at a track like this and Daytona. So this time by, we should be getting the 1 to go as that gray and green car I mentioned earlier is actually Noah Hamilton in the 26. I know it says 0, but sometimes iRacing numbers and paint and numbers on the paint don't match up. As we saw Rocky Boyd dive into pit lane. So James Thurston is going to be your leader coming to the first restart. Yep, pace car lights are off. And it looks like James Thurston and Noah Hamilton choose the outside line. Brady Wildman chooses the inside line. So your top 5 as of right now is James Thurston, Brady Wildman, Noah Hamilton, Edwin Mendez, and Justin Rott. That is your current top 5 as we speak. And let's go to Van Drummond, who had some damage. Who might have had some damage in the wreck. I don't think that he did, but I know that Joseph Lewis did. But maybe he was topping off on fuel to try to stretch it out as much as possible. Adam Contreras, it looks like he decided to not take his fast repair and save it maybe for later on in the race. So let's go back to your leaders coming into turn 3. A very hectic race here at Talladega, and we're less than an eighth of the way through the race. My timing board is telling me that that if this goes flag to flag, so if we don't have any other cautions, which is very unlikely to happen due to the nature of Talladega, it's going to be about 1 more hour of racing. So we got a long race ahead of us. But James Thurston's going to lead the field down to the first restart. Waiting for the green flag to come out.
Green flag, green flag,
green flag is in the air. James Thurston with a good start, along with Noah Hamilton in that number 0 car. Clear of Brady Wildman. Thurston can drop down whenever he wants to, but looks like he's pretty confident running that high line all the way up top. And 3x3, multiple rows deep. Coming out of turn 2, Thurston taking clear advantage, as that high line is the dominant one right now, as that's a car all the way on the infield. I don't know who that was. We'll have to see who that was later on. I believe that might have been Blaze McKinney. Yeah, that was Blaze McKinney all the way in the infield. Nice save by him. Looks like he didn't get any damage, so he will be fine, but he's all the way in the back now as the high line forms. Justin Rott jumps to the bottom, but no one to help him. All the way to the bottom. Multiple car lengths between him and Noah Hamilton, who dove to the bottom lane. So his only help is going to be that 3 car of Trevor Huff, as the middle line forms up. Andretti Robinson starting to make a charge through that middle lane with help from the 72 of Connor Asbell. But currently James Thurston in the lead with generous help from Edwin Mendez. 4 wide in the back. That's Rocky Boyd making a move all the way on the bottom. But looks like things might be sorted out, as, yeah, back to 3x3, which is perfectly fine for Talladega. More than enough room. As Jacob Wilkerson on the bottom lane, trying to make something work. Jason Beckman, a little bit of a late move, gets into the side of Andretti Robinson, and James Thurston, a little bit of a late move, might have gone into Wilkerson, as that's the 48 of Nicholas Martinez Jr. quickly dropping back. So Thurston retains the lead. Wilkerson might not be too happy about it, as Wilkerson makes an aggressive move. Oh, we got Wildman around, cars around in front of the entire field. That is Brady Wildman, as the caution should be coming out any minute now. I heard an engine explode.
Caution.
There we go. Caution finally came out.
Lower down.
We'll have to get a replay on that real soon, as Brady Wellman has no back end on that car. And I heard a car's engine explode after hitting the wall. So that is definitely going to be a long tow back to pit lane. So please stand by while we get a replay for the second caution of this race at Talladega. All right, looking at it right now, looks like when Wilkerson tried to make the move up top, Wildman had to make an evasive move. Mendez was already on his inside trying to take advantage of the situation, and the entire field stacked up. Big damage to the side of Jordan Herring. And yeah, Wildman was just a passenger at that point. Hard contact, as that's Rucci in the 25, big hit from John Jones in that 11 car to the back of Brady Wildman. Multiple cars having to take a faster pair, most definitely. Shockey Tarpley barely misses this big hit from Evan Allen in the number 50. Let's see if we can get an onboard view of Brady Wildman. So yeah, Wildman makes the move, and then, Wilkerson makes a move, and just a chain reaction from there on out. That's the hit from Allen. Tough break for Brady Wildman. He was running very good, but with that faster pair, he'll most definitely be able to get back out on track. But currently, your leader is Jacob Wilkerson in the number 43. Let's get this off your screen real quick. Currently, your leader is Jacob Wilkerson, who might have been an aggressive move for the lead on lap number 15, but sometimes you got to do that at these play tracks or succumb to the pack. But it looks like James Thurston is lining up in front of Jacob Wilkerson. As that's is Van Drummond a lap down? You know, multiple cars trapped a lap down from about. And my ATVO just crashed. I apologize for that. Let's see if I can get that running again. Yeah, my ATVO just, I guess it had an overload trying to handle it, and it just crashed. So give me 1 second to get the ticker running again. we're still under caution here at Talladega, so not really missing out on too much as we got things going up again. Let me get the overlay on the screen. There we go. All right, so pace car lights are off. The ticker is running back as normal. All is well here for the broadcast. That was an ATVO issue, nothing with the ticker itself. So your current top 5, when I pull up the timing screen, will be Jacob Wilkerson, Matthew White, Jonathan T. Baker, Rocky Boyd, and Caleb McKinney. Impressive showing from Matthew White in that number 42, the Wonder Bread car. The Wonder Bread car, obviously the Ricky Bobby throwback, but very nice looking 41 car. But Wilkerson is going to be the man holding all the cards. He's going to be leading that outside line, and he's going to be the control car since he's the leader. So he's going to be deciding when everyone goes. And he's got a very good pusher in Rocky Boyd right behind him. And Caleb McKinney has made his way up into the top 5. So good performance by McKinney so far to make it into the top 5 from all the way in the back. Sean Rowe has made his way up into 7th. And he'll need that over James Thurston. But we still got over 60 laps left. In the restart zone, green flag is out. Nice jump by Wilkerson. Rocky Boyd wasn't able to push him this time, but Wilkerson is about 2 car lengths ahead of White on the bottom lane. Jonathan Baker doing his best to give White the best pushes possible, but he just did not have the momentum. That's Michael Kenner moving down to the bottom. Rocky Boyd jumps to the inside, leaving Jake Wilkerson high and dry. That's Sean Rowe jumping up to the high side to form the high line again. Rocky Boyd moves up top. Michael Kenner stuck in the sucker hole, dives to the inside line, stacks up the inside line pretty hard. But no harm, no foul, as we don't have any accidents just yet. Rocky Boyd dives to the bottom in front of Jacob Wilkerson. Tons of aggressive moves, and Rocky Boyd goes around, save it. What a save by Jacob Wilkerson and Rocky Boyd. That could be a save of the season. iRacing Top 10, are you watching that? We will need to get a replay of that sometime under caution, but Michael Kenner moves to the top spot with Matthew C. White pushing him in a big separation with Kenner, White, and Baker between them and Nicholas Martinez Jr. Shocking turn of events leading to a 3-car breakaway right now, about half a second ahead of Nicholas Martinez Jr. But these small breakaways don't last for long. This is not like the 1990s when small breakaways could dominate a race. The pack will catch you, and they'll catch you quickly. And Nicholas Martinez Jr. is going to be seeing to that he's leading the regrouping effort, and he's catching ever closer to Jonathan T. Baker, already up to his back bumper and starting the outside line. Jonathan T. Baker trying to side draft Martinez a little bit. It's going to be no use as Martinez is leading the effort on the outside line with help from Caleb McKinney. He dives back to the bottom lane. What scenes we have unfolding here as Jordan Herring dives to the bottom lane, as I believe it's a lap car of Trevor Huff in that number 3. So he's not in contention for the race, but he's definitely in contention for Lucky Dog. But going back to the front, 3 wide for the lead as Nicholas Martinez Jr. takes the lead ahead of Jacob Wilkerson and Caleb McKinney. Big shoving from Wilkerson and McKinney. Sean Rowe squeaks in onto the bottom lane as well. 3 cars moving at once. Synchronized dancing at just about 200 miles per hour. Trevor Huff, the lap car, leading the outside line, trying to get help from Rocky Boyd to form that middle line. But cars moving up, notably Michael Kenner in the 14 to the outside of Caleb McKinney. But showing the way right now is Nicholas Martinez Jr. in that number 48. But Jacob Wilkerson, he's aggressive with his moves, and he knows when to time them. The question will be, when will that time be? About the top 13 cars have a pretty solid 2-second breakaway to the second pack as Nicholas Martinez Jr. moves up top as a caution comes out. I don't know who it was for, but we will get a replay on that. Nicholas Martinez Jr. is going to be your leader, so let's go on standby for just 1 second while we understand what's happening. Looking at Juan Escamilla in the number 86, he was leading the second pack with help from Jason Beckman in the 14. Looks like Beckman went up high to get some air and then just misjudged the distance between him and Escamilla, ending up hooking Escamilla hard into the wall. And that's Zaid Khan. Oh, big hit for that 45. Hamilton getting a little piece of it. That's a big hit for both Escamilla and Zaid Khan. So I don't know what the fastest total for these two drivers are, but that's definitely going to be something that they will need to address. It looks like both cars might have made it back to pit lane safely. I think Juan Escamilla might have had to tow it, which will definitely put a damper on him, but that definitely does not count him out of the race just yet. But surprisingly, Nicholas Martinez Jr. made his way to the lead after being in the mid-pack for most of the race thus far, but he's going to dive into pit lane. Let's go to the pace car real quick, as that is Trevor Huff, the first car 1 lap down, looking to get his way around, banking on another quick caution to come out, so he can get his fuel stop in. But this also brings Daniel Rivera in the number 8 to the forefront of this race. And the 72, I believe, the 72 of Connor Asbell is the first car 1 lap down. Same with a bunch of other drivers. And I think Connor Asbell, Henry Caloff, and Glenn Bundren Jr. probably aren't too happy that Rivera stayed out, because this prevents him from getting the wave around, and essentially means that they'll be trapped a lap down. So I don't think any favors are going to be paid out to Daniel Rivera and Shockey Tarpley for this, as Nicholas Martinez Jr. all the way back here has assumed the lead. It all depends if Daniel Rivera and Shockey Tarpley come into pit lane, and if so, then the cars behind them will get the wave around to get their lap back. And I believe that might include Van Drummond. He's currently 1 lap down. We'll have to see if the 8 and the 25 dive down pit lane. And they don't. They just passed the commitment cone. And all of these drivers, seeing that that they're not going to get their lap back regardless, have now dove into pit lane. And Zaid Khan, after being in the wreck, made up a ton of positions up to position number 3. So your top 5 is going to look very interesting. Daniel Rivera, Shockey Tarpley, Nicholas Martinez Jr., Zaid Khan, and Sean Rowe make up your top 5. Nicholas Rivera, the control car for this restart, is going to elect to choose the bottom line. And a lot of drivers are 1 lap down. We have about 14 cars at least 1 lap down. The first car lapped is Aaron Chugel in the number 91. Not sure why he's that far up, but it's definitely going to do him good. There we go. Now he dives to the inside line. Definitely going to do him good to stay in the lead, because now there's essentially 2 races going on. One for the lucky dog and one for the race lead. Pace car lights are off coming through turns 3 and 4 to start off, I believe, the 3rd or the 4th restart of this race in 26 laps out of 86. So we still got a long way to go. About 30% of the way through, if my math checks out. But Daniel Rivera is going to be leading the way as he crosses the Geico restart zone, waiting for him to hit the loud pedal. Green flag is out. Rivera with a nice jump over the rest of the field gets clear of Shockey Tarpley, and that outside line is very congested. Nicholas Martinez Jr. already jumping up to the high side with help from Sean Rowe and Wilkerson. Looks like everyone's going to abandon Shockey Tarpley in the middle. No one wants to work with Shockey Tarpley as Daniel Rivera and Zaid Khan lead the way on the bottom lane. Hayden Wilfred in the 35 made his way up to 3rd place, looking to make something work and make some moves. Stuck the 3rd car on the inside line, but that outside line is very slowly starting to work its way up. As we got lots of contact on the outside line. I think Wilfred tried to move up as I was looking at my timing screen, and that caused a lot of congestion on the outside line. That absolutely killed the outside line. So now the inside line is the most dominant for right now, as Daniel Rivera and Zaid Khan work together to maintain the lead. I don't know who that... Oh, that's Tyler Curley on the outside line, leading the outside line as Corey Lyles jumps up top, but Curley jumps to the outside of Lyles. Curley looking to not slow down anytime soon, and he's going to have a lot of momentum. Come on, move to Tyler Curley. Jesus. He's going to have a lot of momentum on the outside line. Going to be clear of Rivera coming down the straight out of turn 4. He looks like Rivera has lost the confidence of Zaid Khan as Khan jumps up to the middle and just leaves the inside line out to dry. So Tyler Curley is now in the lead in his 2nd race here at Talladega, with Nicholas Martinez Jr. in hot pursuit. Sean Rowe looking to advance through this race. Looking to advance to the next round of the playoffs through this race as the field fans out a little bit near the back. But right now, it's the Tyler Curley show as the 014 gets into the wall just a little bit. Looks like nothing happened. Just a little bit of a stack up. As Jason Beckman hit the wall. He might have gotten a bad push into the wall, but Tyler Curley leading this very dominant outside line. Looks like drivers now kind of want to just wind down the laps, and the safest way to do it is running the high side. It might not be the most interesting, but it's by far the safest bet if you want to survive to the end of this race. As Jason Beckman, after hitting the wall, is now leading the middle line effort with help from James Thurston. As the car on the inside, this is 62 of Peyton Carroll, who's one lap down, trying to form the far inside line, can't get anything done. And it looks like it will be the middle line with the best shot, as they're starting to very slowly move up positions with the combination of Jason Beckman and James Thurston. As it looks like no one tries to dive down. Just as I say that, Tyler Curley, very, very aggressive move, even got onto the apron a little bit, completely strangles the progress of the inside line, stacking everybody up. But no one gets turned around, and Curley retains the lead for right now. As Beckman looking to the inside of Curley, but there's not enough space. As that's Sean Rowe on the apron, contact with McKinney. Sean Rowe all the way on the apron. He'll have to back out as to not cause a big wreck. And Jason Beckman and Nicholas Martinez Jr. are going to be the ones leading Martinez Jr. to the lead all the way on the bottom. Beckman just did not have the momentum that Martinez had. And now Martinez, being shoved by Tyler Curley, is going to have to fend off Jason Beckman and Jacob Wilkerson. Blaze McKinney is very good at plate track racing. He knows what to do in this situation, and he's currently third in line on that inside line. But 3 wide for about 10th place, with James Thurston forming that middle line as Curley and Martinez synchronize, go to the top. Beckman jumps to the middle lane, and we have pandemonium. Caution is out. I think that is Matt Rucci around in the back. We'll have to go on standby for just a second to see what happened. But Martinez is going to be your leader, so please stand by for just one moment. Oh, I apologize. I had my mic muted. Thank you to the for the SRL Boys Alliance Cup Series for letting me know that I had my mic muted. Basically, what I was talking about was just the playoff situation while I was essentially talking to myself. But Nicholas Martinez Jr. is going to lead the field to yet another restart here at Talladega. Martinez gets a good jump with help from Tyler Curley. And Nicholas Martinez Jr. not going to have the momentum that he hoped for as James Thurston comes roaring down on the inside line. Going to be side by side for the lead coming out of turn 2. Thurston not going to be able to gain an advantage on the inside line, and the outside line is going to have a run down the back straight with Curley helping out Martinez, and that is Trevor Huff diving to the bottom lane in front of James Thurston to make it to the lead. So Trevor Huff, after being in a wreck early on, has made his way back to the lead. Very good recovery for that number 3 car as he's getting a big shove from James Thurston as they're about 6 car lengths ahead of the rest of the field. As my Discord just crashed for no reason. Apologize for that. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so sorry about that. A little bit of technical difficulties on my end, but Trevor Huff is still your leader by about 3 car lengths over the rest of the pack, with help from James Thurston. And James Thurston's goal is to just finish ahead of Sean Rowe, and this could be a playoff battle that ends in a difference of inches between who advances and who does not. Curley on the outside almost made a run for the lead, but that got cut off by Martinez and Huff rather quickly. Jordan Herring in that 72 car left to dry on the bottom, and Michael D. Kenner takes control of the middle lane with help from Zayd Khan, but he gets muscled to the bottom as lots of shuffling going on. It looks like the leaders abandoned Trevor Huff on the outside line with a coordinated move to the inside line, and Nicholas Martinez Jr. back to the lead with help from Tyler Curley and Jacob Wilkerson. Inside line by far right now the most dominant one. The 2 outside lines look like they're not able to get anything going as we are 4 wide in the back. Shockey Tarpley all the way up top. That's Peyton Howe. That's Peyton. That's a 62 getting into the wall. No caution was thrown. Peyton Carroll. I almost said Peyton Howell for some reason. But Peyton Howell and Shockey Tarpley getting into it. But it looks like they didn't wreck and just got a little bit of a miscommunication. So no caution was called for that. As Nicholas Martinez Jr. still holding the bottom lane. Tyler Curley looking for passing opportunities. Can't get it done. Martinez jumps to the top to block Thurston. A little bit of contact between Martinez and Thurston. Big wiggles from both cars, but they both sorted out. Tyler Curley to the lead, while Jacob Wilkerson is behind him. I believe that is the 460 of Edmund Mendez getting to the wall a little bit on the outside line. Michael Kenner in the sucker hole in the middle with no one to help him for quite a big distance, as there's a big gap between these 243 cars, between them and the rest of the field. As Glenn Bundren goes around, that's Baker, Blaze McKinney, Andretti Robinson, and multiple others involved. All I saw was Glenn Bundren go around, and then the entire field had to avoid him. So let's get a replay on that real quick. Really looking at Blaze McKinney in that yellow 87. Looks like a little bit of a weird push. Got Glenn Bundren all squirrely, and then Bundren tried to merge back into traffic, and it just caused a big stack up. Caleb McKinney, Joseph Lewis got a little bit of it. Jonathan Baker in it. Sean Rowe narrowly avoids it. Let's see if we can get a view of not Andretti Robinson, of Glenn Bundren. See if we can get a rear view shot. So yeah, Glenn Bundren gets a push from McKinney, and then he tries to get back in line, and the bumpers just did not line up. And a big game of pinball for Glenn Bundren. He luckily didn't get hit too badly. As we go back to the pace car. Thanks. As John Jones is going to be your leader. I thought Joseph Lewis got more damage than he did, but it might have been one of those iRacing phantom damage bugs that show up on the broadcast for just a split second. As this time by, we will be reaching the halfway point of the race in what has been a wacky and wild race so far. Race started at about 8:55 and an hour through. Well, race actually started around 9 o'clock, considering the pace length, but we are 42 laps in, and it is 9:46 Eastern right now. So we've been tracking at about a lap a minute. But John Jones, I think this is his first. Appearance in SRL, if I'm not mistaken. I may very well be mistaken. But showing promise as he and Joseph Lewis dives into pit lane, and we'll have to see who stays out. It looks like it is going to be Tyler Curley and Jacob Wilkerson staying out, as all the cars ahead of Tyler Curley are going to be getting their wave around. Pace car lights are out, so we have 1 lap to green. So your current top 5, as it stands right now, as I'm looking at the timing board, is Tyler Curley, Jacob Wilkerson, Nicholas Martinez Jr., Matthew White, and Jordan Herring. So multiple different cars making their way back to the front of the field. Michael Deitch has made his way up into the 9th position right now, the 8th or 9th position. But as I've stated before, control car is going to be the 43 of Tyler Curley, as he has a little bit of a lag issue, but nothing to worry about right now, under caution. And keep in mind, this is Tyler Curley's second ever start in SRL, and he's putting on a show showing that he can lead some of the best iRacers you can get on a plate track. He put on a very impressive battle with I believe Justin Rott last week at Watkins Glen. That was fun to watch. And now Curly is showing his prowess on the super speedways. So let me change the timing board to laps to go. Coming to 43 laps to go as we hit halfway in the race. The inside line taking a little bit to gather up into the Geico restart zone.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out, and Tyler Curley is going to get a good jump on the rest of the field. Michael White with not a good start, and that is Jordan Herring in the 72 already diving to the inside, forcing White into the middle. No one to help him for quite a long time as Michael Deitch moves to the third car on the inside line. James Thurston pushing the 72 with everything he can as the field spreads out into a bottom and a high line with a little bit of a middle line forming up as Sean Rowe moves to the inside line. And now that outside line becomes the middle line as they're running the middle lane right now with Tyler Curley leading Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson to the outside line. Curley with an aggressive block, almost put himself in the wall, but he keeps himself ahead of Jacob Wilkerson. Nicholas Martinez Jr. looking to the bottom, and Curley doing everything that he can to block, while the 72 of Jordan Herring making his way up with help from James Thurston. Michael Deitch clips the apron a little bit, and that's going to kill the momentum on the inside line for right now, as Curley, Wilkerson, and Martinez pulling away on the high side. Sean Rowe looks to dive to the inside. Maybe a little bit of hesitation as we are 4 wide in the back as Michael Kenner, White, and other drivers try to sort themselves out as we look at Curley being pushed by Jacob Wilkerson. Looks like that 4 wide situation has resolved itself near the back of this pack, as that's Cole Denton in the number 46 trying to lead that middle lane to create some opposition to the inside line, which is being dominated by Tyler Curley right now. The 28 of Jaden Porter leading that far outside line, that third lane, trying to get something moving. You need about 4 or 5 cars to really get a line going with these next gen cars. And that high side is starting to gain cars rather quickly as we have Michael Kenner around and waiting for the caution. Caution is finally out. Caution has taken a while to come out, but the field slows down, and let's go to standby to get a replay on what happened to Michael Kenner. All right, looking at Michael Kenner, looks like the outside line just stacks up a little bit, and Adam Contreras gets moved to the inside line, and Michael Kenner, trying to avoid it, just comes across Rocky Boyd. And, oh, that's a big hit to Connor Asbell. Hopefully that 72 isn't damaged too much. Looks like Rocky Boyd definitely got the lion's share of damage. Going back to the lead, Tyler Curley has shown his worth with 40 laps to go. Definitely seems like it is very hard to pass that 43 car, that 43 Tracker Boats and Bass Pro Shops car as everyone pulls into pit lane. And I think something real interesting is that James Thurston and Sean Rowe are essentially right next to each other in terms of position. And like I don't know if I mentioned this while my microphone was accidentally muted, but it could be a matter of inches that determines whether Sean Rowe beats James Thurston to the next round. As Dominic Barbagallo decides it's his time to lead a lap and get a little bit of points, as he's currently the leader, as he stayed out an extra lap. As my ATVO crashed again. I don't know what is going on with ATVO, but it is just not cooperating with me. So luckily this has happened under caution, and I'm able to get it rectified without having to take anything away from the action going on right now. So let me just load theme. Laps to go, add 4, toggle ticker. And the ATV overlay is back. So then I gotta open up the timing screen, and it looks like Dominic Barbagallo is gonna stay out, along with John Jones, as Brady Wellman speeds into pit lane. I'm sure that the 86 of Juan Escamilla probably isn't too happy about that. But Dominic Barbagallo and John Jones are going to be your leaders. Yeah, Juan Escamilla, the first car 1 lap down. I'm pretty sure he would have liked it if the 17 and John Jones did go into pit lane so he could get the wave around. But alas, it did not work out like he wanted it to. But right now, Sean Rowe and James Thurston are right next to each other. These two drivers are battling for the playoffs. And they are side by side at a plate track. And we still have, let's see, we still have 40 out of the 43 cars on track right now, as only 3 cars have retired from this race: Noah Hamilton, Justin Rott, and Connor Zola. But Dominic Barbagallo is going to be the control car for this restart. Coming to 37 laps to go. Pace car starting to roll into pit lane. Into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, as it looks like John Jones got a much better restart than Dominic Barbagallo. John Jones able to clear Barbagallo on the outside line, and he's going to be dropping back. Interesting move by John Jones. Maybe he just wanted the points for leading a lap. and he will now surrender that to James Thurston, who leads this middle lane. And with John Jones hanging back right now, there's no opportunity for a third lane to really form until far away in the back, as that's Adam Contreras in the 92 looking to form something on that third far outside lane. But right now, James Thurston leading the way with Jason Beckman in the 14 leading that middle lane. Thurston getting help from Jordan Herring in that 72 and Cole Denton. Jaden Porter has made his way back up into the top 10 and soon into the top 5. Looks like no one going to jump up to that middle lane. That middle lane is starting to gain ground. Look at the run that they have on James Thurston, and Jason Beckman is going to have the lead coming out of turn 4. Michael Kenner all the way on the inside, out of harm's way, and Jaden Porter giving Jason Beckman the push of his life. And Edwin Mendez and Daniel Rivera going to follow them through. But now Porter jumps all the way to the outside. Rivera jumps all to the inside. Jason Beckman now left without help as Rivera gets a shot from James Thurston. And now Edwin Mendez dives to the inside line, 4 wide in the back. That had Trevor Huff in it. But looks like things are settling down back there. Edwin Mendez to the lead right now. On the outside line is Jonathan Baker and Matt Rucci. Edwin Mendez on the inside line, Jaden Porter in the middle line, and Jonathan T. Baker all the way up on the top. We might have 3 wide for the lead soon, depending on how that far outside line forms up. But right now, it's the inside line doing their best to keep the lead, as we're seeing Sean Rowe all the way up top. 2-car breakaway right now between Rivera and Mendez. Rivera thought about chopping off that middle lane, and so did Mendez, and we are almost 4 wide for the lead. Now Jordan Herring has made his way up into the lead, but he's going to have competition from Jaden Porter, and he dives to the inside line to try to cut off Edwin Mendez, but there is no one there. And now it's 3 wide for the lead. Jaden Porter to the front with a great push from Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe now has every option in the book on what to do. He moves to the bottom with James Curley. Jaden Porter not able to react in time. Jaden Porter going to try to use that side draft to keep the cars even. And now Sean Rowe has made his way into the lead when he needs it the most. He moves to the inside line to block off Jaden Porter. Will he move back down to block Curley? As a little bit of a wiggle from Curley after getting a push from Herring. But Sean Rowe now in firm control of this race. Now the question will be, who's going to make the move to the bottom lane? This outside line is now forming up into a traditional Dale line with Jaden Porter and Jonathan T. Baker just clamoring to make a move, but there's going to be no one to help them, as about the first 10 cars on the outside line are all single file, and then it spreads out to about 3 wide. This is the position that Sean Rowe wants to be in. His opponent, James Thurston, is all the way in 5th place. And some drivers like Jaden Porter haven't made a start this season and are looking to impress. Jaden Porter pushing Sean Rowe for all he's worth with help by Jonathan Baker and Jacob Wilkerson. Dominic Barber-Gallo has made his way up into the 6th position, as the first car all the way on the inside, all the way in the middle lane is that 41 car. Not exactly sure who that is, and we have some trouble on the inside line. Cars very slow. That's Edwin Mendez. I don't know what happened down there, but that definitely allows for some shuffling as Jaden Porter dives to the inside, taking control from Sean Rowe. But that outside line is going to have more tightly compacted cars. Not for now, as Nicholas Martinez jumps to the high side with Adam Contreras. Sean Rowe versus Jaden Porter for the lead, with help from Jacob Wilkerson and James Thurston. So right now, Jaden Porter on the inside line, gonna have the clear advantage, but now it's gonna be, when does James Thurston make the move because he wants to be in front of Sean Rowe, and he's going to make the move to the middle lane. And Jaden Porter moves up top to try to force him higher up. This is going to stack up these lines big time as Sean Rowe moves to the inside line. And he's going to take the lead back for himself with help from Jacob Wilkerson. So now Sean Rowe on the inside line. He's going to have to block his playoff rival, James Thurston, when he invariably comes to try and take the lead in that middle lane, almost side by side for the lead. Sean Rowe just barely ahead. He's going to have the advantage entering turn 1. And Jacob Wilkerson pushing him for all that he's worth. But that momentum on the outside line is going to have consequences as James Thurston pushes himself to the lead with help from Nicholas Martinez Jr. and Matt Rucci. Matt Rucci having a great comeback. After all of this pandemonium, this is what we need. We need a little bit of a green flag run right now. As now Nicholas Martinez Jr. got a little loose in the corner. Might have gotten a little shove from Rucci. But now James Thurston will have to block for all that he is worth to keep this position. As Adam Contreras too slow up top for Sean Rowe to work with him. Matt Rucci jumps up top. Same with James Thurston. Martinez stays low. Rucci all the way to the inside. He's going to be side by side for the lead. And Matt Rucci takes the lead with help from Jonathan Baker. Van Drummond now up in the mix. Up in the top 5 in that black and red 2-car. Martinez to the outside line, looking to side draft a little bit with Jonathan Baker slowing both lines up. As a third lane starts forming up with Joseph Lewis, the 41, and Adam Contreras as Martinez running high in that middle lane. Side by side with Rucci, but he's going to have the run and push from Sean Rowe to get back into the lead. And will Sean Rowe and Nicholas Martinez Jr. jump to the bottom to cut off Rucci? It's 3 wide from third on back. As Nicholas Martinez Jr. up in command of this race, but don't count out Matthew White and Adam Contreras. Maybe a little bit of wall dragging from Adam Contreras, but no harm done to this pack. So we're under 30 laps to go here at Talladega, and Martinez looking for a statement victory after being booted out of the playoffs. So now Sean Rowe looking to stay ahead of James Thurston, while Jacob Wilkerson and Adam Contreras are hungry for a win. Jacob Wilkerson has been very close to winning so many times, but hasn't gotten it done. As look who's in, I believe that's 5th place or 6th place. That is Joseph Lewis. He's ahead of his competitor, Van Drummond. 27 laps to go, and we have 2 packs. We have about 1st through 13th, and then 14th through about 18th, doing their best to catch up to these lead pack cars. And they're gaining about 0.4 of a second per lap from what I see. So all this jostling for position might have consequences once those back 4 drivers catch up, if they manage to do so. But Nicholas Martinez Jr. managing that high side line well, that inside line not able to get anything going. And Sean Rowe has to be happy with the position that he's in right now, as it seems like James Thurston, who was leading the outside line, just can't get anything done. But Dominic Barbagallo and Jaden Porter, looks like they can't agree on which line to jump to, and it's going to slow that middle and bottom lane. And it's going to be hard. It's going to take even longer for them to get up to Nicholas Martinez Jr. But Dominic Barbagallo has made his way up into 5th place, looking to make up even more positions, as Martinez is running as high as he possibly can go. but Barbagallo getting a great push from James Thurston, and look who's behind him. Van Drummond also in the mix on that inside line. As the second pack has closed to within a second, these four drivers back there are definitely working well together to catch up to the leaders. As we cross under 25 to go, a little bit of a shunt to Martinez from Sean Rowe. Outside line dominance right now, single file mostly in this upper pack as those back four cars have caught up to the pack. So now it's a battle from 1st to 17th, and we have a caution out. I don't know who that was. I think that's Riley Garcia around. So we'll have to see what happened. But now I think any fuel strategy is out of the window, and we're going to have no holds barred racing from here on out. So please stand by for just one moment. Currently looking at John Jones in the number 67 running the high line with Riley Garcia on his inside. Have to see what happens between the 67 and the 40. Oh, Garcia just drifted up in the corner and just gracefully tapped the inside of John Jones, and that's sometimes all you need to get a car to go around. And I think John Jones gets through relatively unscathed as he slides down to the bottom. Looks like no one's gonna hit him, so luckily John Jones gets away with it. As almost everyone pulling into pit lane for their final stop of the race. And that's a nice camera angle, not being able to see any of the cars driving down pit lane. Thank you, iRacing. But Nicholas Martinez Jr. is going to be the leader, and we'll have to see who comes out on top. Interesting move by Martinez to choose 4 tires when he could have just gone for fuel. Maybe he forgot to uncheck it, because you don't really have to take tires here at Talladega. And Jacob Wilkerson jumps to the lead. So your top 5 right now is going to be Jacob Wilkerson, Aldon Contreras, James Thurston, Evan Allen, and Van Drummond. Very interesting move. That had to be a mistake. It had to be a mistake by Martinez to take 4 tires as he drops from 1st to 10th. And honestly, if I'm any of these drivers, the place I want to be is all the way up at the front, because if you're at the front, 99% of the times all the wrecks happen behind you, and if you're right in the middle 99% of the time, there is no place for you to go. The lapped car of that is Peyton Carroll. Looks like he's going to get his lap back through the wave round, and who knows, maybe he can be a contender for the win. Anything can happen here at Talladega. But I must remind you once again of the playoff battles It's going to be Van Drummond, Joseph Lewis, Caleb McKinney, and James Bomar. And I don't think James Bomar showed up. Yeah, I don't think James Bomar showed up. So Caleb McKinney made his way into the Elite 8 by just showing up. So it's really Joseph Lewis and Van Drummond with James Thurston and Sean Rowe, two heavyweights in this series, battling for playoff survival. Pace car lights are off. That means that next time by, we will be going green with 21 laps to go here. Mute myself for just a second. Okay, I'm back. I kind of grab a quick little bite, and I don't think you wanted to hear me chewing on stream because that's kind of gross. But your control car for this restart is going to be Jacob Wilkerson. Let's see if he can use these final 20 laps to finally claim victory. He's been on pole and up front so many times, but it just hasn't gone his way throughout this season. Pace car is in pit lane. And we are waiting for them to enter the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, and it looks like Wilkerson getting a slightly better start than James Thurston. So Wilkerson completely clear. He can dive to whatever lane that he wants to right now. Looks like he's going to stick with this high side for the time being, as Evan Allen tucks up right behind James Thurston, and Wilkerson dives to the bottom. Adam Contreras moving slightly down to get alongside James Thurston, as Sean Rowe's in a very bad position right now. He has no help on the outside line. Nicholas Martinez Jr. moves up top to try to get something going, but any help beyond that is all the way in the second pack, and Sean Rowe made a mistake when he needed a mistake the least, but Jaden Porter comes up to provide that high outside line some help as they will start to work on the field. Jonathan T. Baker moving up top, but it is Jacob Wilkerson leading the way right now, as James Thurston, the first car on the inside line, with help from Evan Allen, but there's only so much that two cars by themselves can do. I don't know who that is. I think that's Henry Califf. Oh, Rucci around. That's just 91 of Schugel as Baker gets involved. Allen and Califf. That's Baker going around again. I don't know what caused that incident, but let's get a replay on that real quick. Looking at that black and red car of Aaron Schugel, looks like he might have gotten a little bit of a shove from Caleb McKinney and right down into the quarter panel of Matt Rucci, and then that's Michael Deitch involved as well. Daniel Rivera, a little bit of damage to that car and that incident. Unfortunate for Aaron Schugel. That's just how stack ups, and that's why I said you don't want to be in the middle. That's why you don't want to be in the middle here at like in the middle of the field here at Talladega, because something happens. Most likely you're not going to be able to avoid it unless for sheer luck. As I see Henry Caloff in the distance with a little bit of damage. So, excuse me for just a moment. I apologize for that. All of this flapping my gums and talking has made me quite hungry, and I don't think you want to hear me eating pretzels on stream. But 17 to go here, as we're about to approach the 90-minute mark on this race. Since this race started at right around 9 p.m. Eastern, and at the time of me saying this, it is 10:20 p.m. Eastern. So, an hour and 20 minutes have passed, and we are still not at the finish just yet. Most races normally taking about an hour to finish, but this has had so many cautions due to the nature of SuperSpeedway racing that it's just a given. But your top five as of right now is Jacob Wilkerson, Aldon Contreras, Dominic Barbagallo, James Thurston, and Van Drummond. Sean Rowe has moved all the way back to 14th place, and Joseph Lewis has moved up to 9th. So the two remaining playoff battles are still very, very close to each other, with 10 positions, which isn't a lot in pack racing, separating James Thurston and Sean Rowe. But pace car lights are off, and Jacob Wilkerson is going to be the control car once again on the outside line. Now, James Thurston and Van Drummond, that's a very powerful combination of leader and pusher. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, as Joseph Lewis, Van Drummond's opponent, is also on the inside line. And Pierce Maffitt has made his way back into the top 10 when it matters the most. He's currently up in 8th in that bluish purple number 81. Right behind Nicholas Martinez Jr. So I'm hoping that this time we go to the checkered flag, but there's going to be so much jockeying for position that I doubt that's going to happen. We'll probably go into green-white checkered territory here, and that's when things really start to devolve. But I have faith in these drivers. These very competent SRL Blaze Science Cup Series drivers. After all, 40 of them showed up and have made it this far. I mean, yeah, we have 40 drivers who are still in the race and have made it this far. And Jacob Wilkerson is going to lead the field with help from Adam Contreras into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. About an even start between Wilkerson and Thurston. Thurston just not alongside Wilkerson enough, but he's not allowing Contreras to make any moves to the bottom, and Wilkerson dives to the middle to cut off James Thurston. As Joseph Lewis leading the far bottom lane, Wilkerson moves back up top to block Contreras. And we got 3 lanes working together with 15 to go. Who's ready for absolute pandemonium to ensue? As we have 4 wide for a second. Evan Allen making it 4 all the way in the back. As Sean Rowe to the inside line has now passed, or is now alongside James Thurston. And Joseph Lewis has passed Van Drummond for this playoff battle. Sean Rowe and Joseph Lewis, definite underdogs here in terms of just the seeding and position wise, because Van Drummond and James Thurston have been very dominant this season, and it would be a shock to say the least if they were to be booted out at the end of this race. Cars in the wall. I can't tell exactly who that is. I think that might be Escamilla in the 86, getting a little bit of wall action. But Wilkerson dives to the inside, blocks off Joseph Lewis, who's contending for the lead. Adam Contreras, not a lot of help, moves up to the high side to block Barbagallo. Joseph Lewis all over the back end of Wilkerson. Wilkerson blocks again. Michael Kenner and James Thurston on the middle lane, moving to the top. What a push by James Thurston to Michael Kenner, and both Kenner and Thurston clear Wilkerson in the middle lane. Sean Rowe moves up high with help from Van Drummond to get back to the front. High side being led by Contreras. Thurston with a weird block on Wilkerson shuffles him up high, and now Lewis all the way on the bottom to the almost to the inside of Thurston. 4 wide as Jordan Herring gets put 4 wide, and we have pandemonium throughout this field. Jacob Wilkerson retains the lead somehow, and Sean Rowe all over the back end of Jacob Wilkerson. Corey Lyles has made his way back up into the top 5, but he moved down too early. No one went with him, and he's going to have to get help from Michael Kenner. And now it's just the outside line running the show. Martinez hits the ball into Rocky Boyd. How did they not wreck? What a save by Rocky Boyd. Oh my goodness gracious. What? Oh, and now they're wrecking again. Big contact, and that is definitely the big one. Multiple cars involved, but wow, that was a save and a half by Rocky Boyd, and he kept it straight. That car was about 45 degrees sideways at one point. Let's get a replay to get a deeper look on what happened. Please stand by for just 1 second. So we're starting in turn 1. We're watching Nicholas Martinez Jr. in that blue and red 48 gets tapped from the 8 of Rivera, and just nowhere for him to go but into Rocky Boyd. And Rocky Boyd, another amazing save, and then this just spreads out the field. And yeah, it looks like, I believe Michael Kenner was trying to move up, did not know that Pierce Maffitt was involved, and just so many cars got in that. Let's see if so many cars got in that. Yeah, that's a big wreck. I apologize for showing the iRacing UI, but I kind of have to just to get. So looking at Michael Kenner right now, and yeah, he just got projected back up and then just came back down, and the entire field got involved. I think Riley Garcia is probably one of the luckiest people in this, as I think the seas parted for him at the right moment. Let's see if we can get a rollbar view from Garcia. Oh, I have to enable the there we go. Yeah, but we're looking at Riley Garcia right now, and a lot of uncertainty in front of him, and then smoke, and then cars going all over the place. He needs to buy a lottery ticket because that is one lucky number 40 car in Riley Garcia. But it seems like all of the playoff drivers avoided that kerfuffle, as Sean Rowe, James Thurston, Van Drummond, and Joseph Lewis are still within about 10 positions of each other. And I think I don't remember who was leading at the time of the caution. It might have been, I'm pretty sure it was Wilkerson. Barbagallo with an impressive run all the way up into third. Let's see if I can get a better, there you go, better camera. But the definite conversation right now is between Sean Rowe and James Thurston. I know I'm beating it like a dead horse, but it's hard to overstate the playoff implications that one move will have, one mistimed move to put you out of line can have, and what team orders might come into play. And Van Drummond has made his way to lead the inside line with a very capable pusher in Tyler Curley. So we have under 10 laps to go here at Talladega, and we still have how many cars? We still have 37 cars in this race and 35 cars on the lead lap. It is very safe to assume that any one of those 35 cars can win this race. I don't know what John Jones is doing up top in the number 11, scraping the wall. But hopefully this can play out towards the end and we won't have any more cautions. But if you've seen any sort of plate racing, whether in real life or on iRacing, you know that these late race restarts normally breed about 5 more cautions. And we'll probably go into second or third green white checker, but across the overtime or across the restart line, and Wilkerson with a good jump over Van Drummond. Sean Rowe able to almost pull ahead of Drummond, and he will. Will Sean Rowe dive to the bottom lane along with Jacob Wilkerson? They move off the top, and a little bit of a stack up on the outside line. Cars chain bumping. You don't want to do that. But it looks like almost everything is fine and well as Caleb McKinney goes spinning off and hits the inside wall. Single car accident. No caution called, as Jacob Wilkerson continues to lead the outside line with Sean Rowe right behind him. But in fourth place is James Thurston. Rocky Boyd dives to the inside on the inside of Van Drummond. And up in fifth place is Trevor Huff in the number 3. Looking to the inside is the 43 of Tyler Curley. No help, as the outside line is the way to go for right now, as Curley gets a little bit of a bump from Rocky Boyd. Saves it and keeps it straight. Good car control by Tyler Curley to keep it straight. And now Rocky Boyd and Tyler Curley are going to be the biggest threats to this outside line right now, as we approach 6 laps to go, 3 wide between Herring and Contreras, but that's going to get sorted out rather quickly. James Thurston thought about going below Barbagallo for a second, and Rocky Boyd has been basically single-handedly pushing Tyler Curley to the front, and now Corey Lyles is going to help him out with this. Edwin Mendez in the 460 trying to catch up to Lyles, Curley, and Boyd, as Curley gets pushed to the front and is now side by side almost with Jacob Wilkerson, side by side with Sean Rowe right now. Cars fanning out, trying to get any position or advantage that they can. A little bit of a stack up in the middle of the pack, 4 wide in the back. Oh, Rocky Boyd gets shoved out of line. Edwin Mendez drifts on the apron. Absolute calamity as the inside line collapses, and all of that work that Rocky Boyd and Tyler Curley did to get to the front is all for naught. As Wilkerson leading with 5 to go. Now Curley jumps to the bottom to get in front of Corey Lyles to try and form a inside line to have a second go at it, but him lagging out for a second isn't going to help matters that much, as that stacks up the inside line. Jacob Wilkerson is in full control of his destiny right now, as I believe that's Corey Lyles going all the way to the apron. Cars in the wall. That's a caution. Cars spinning in the back. I think Nicholas Martinez Jr. was in that. So let's get a replay, as this will most likely bring us into a green-white checkered. Looking at Andretti Robinson getting a push from Aaron Schugel. It looks like the outside line just stacked up a lot, and just physics were not in Andretti Robinson's favor. That caused a big stack up. I saw Shockey Tarpley and Andretti Robinson, and Nicholas Martinez Jr. get involved. Yeah, heavy damage to Nicholas Martinez Jr. That's a lot of front end damage. And we will have to see if this will result in a green flag, or not a green flag, a green-white checkered. Or if we might have a quote-unquote natural green-white checkered, which is when the race restarts with 2 to go. Base car lights remain on So it looks like that we are going to have our first green-white checkered finish, or not finish, first green-white checkered attempt here at Talladega, as Adam Rucci gets the lucky dog. And that will put him, or not Adam Rucci, Matt Rucci, I don't know why I said Adam. That'll put him on the lead lap. But it's pretty difficult to gain 34 positions in just one green-white checkered. And now all bets are off. Your current playoff battles right now is Sean Rowe in second and James Thurston in fourth, and Van Drummond in eighth, with Joseph Lewis in 20th. Or 19th now. So Joseph Lewis is going to need to hustle, or he's going to need a wreck to take out Van Drummond, because keep in mind that with this playoff format, you're going up against one driver. You're setting your sights on one driver. So it doesn't matter about everyone else. It's about you and that driver, as Jonathan Baker goes for a little bit of a spin. I don't know what was going on back there between him and Hayden Wilfred. But up front, it's going to be your top five of Jacob Wilkerson, Sean Rowe, Dominic Barbagallo, James Thurston, and Trevor Huff. Pace car lights are going to be off this time by Wilkerson. Elects to choose the outside line alongside Rowe, Barbagallo, and James Thurston. So Thurston choosing that outside line. If he chose the inside line, he might have been able to get alongside Sean Rowe, but I'm sure Thurston's a lot more intelligent when it comes to that type of stuff than me. Van Drummond chooses the inside line, and just a couple cars behind him in that line is that other black, white, and red car of Joseph Lewis. All it takes is one wreck up at the front for this entire race to be put on its head, this entire field to be put on its head. Nerves have to be running high, especially for the playoff contenders or people in their first couple of starts looking to make a good impression. People like Tyler Curley, not making best friends with his blocks, but he's been able to manage the lines efficiently, and he's back in sixth after leading a good chunk of the race. But Jacob Wilkerson and Brady Wildman started on pole, and he's back up in second place. Pretty fitting spot. And he can possibly win from the pole. But it all comes down to who goes with him. And Lady Luck is definitely going to have a hand in this. Pace car is in for the first green-white checkered of this race. Waiting to go to the Geico restart zone is Jacob Wilkerson, in control of his destiny and the rest of the field. Green flag is out for the first green-white checkered. Wildman about an equal start to Wilkerson, but did not get that great of a bump from Van Drummond, as Van Drummond moves up high in front of James Thurston. Sean Rowe pushing Jacob Wilkerson, as Blaze McKinney in the 87 starting to make something on that far inside line. But right now it's Jacob Wilkerson leading the way with 2 laps to go. Cars getting into each other. That's Garcia, Lyles, and I believe Evan Allen, but it looks like looks like they all merged back safely. Now Dominic Barbagallo to the bottom lane. Taking the lead is Dominic Barbagallo with help from Van Drummond and James Thurston. James Thurston has passed Sean Rowe for this playoff battle. And Sean Rowe pushing Jacob Wilkerson with all that he can. White flag for Dominic Barbagallo. This could be the craziest win of his life, getting pushed by Van Drummond. Jonathan Baker goes around. Dominic Barbagallo in control of this race. He's being pushed. He's been given a lifeline by Van Drummond. James Thurston and Sean Rowe side by side. Zaid Khan in the wall. Evan Allen goes around. Barbagallo blocks Wilkerson. Goes in front of Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe dives to the bottom in front of Wilkerson. Sean Rowe to the lead. He's gotten past Barbagallo, but Wilkerson gets turned. Van Drummond gets turned around. Barbagallo to the lead. Daniel Rivera in second. That's Matthew White in the 41 behind Barbagallo. They're all going around. Thurston and Rowe dooring each other for a playoff position. Barbagallo gets the win. And an absolutely crazy end to this race. Holy Toledo. And we have to see where Van Drummond finished. Give me 1 second to find out, because Van Drummond's number is not the usual number that it normally is. Van Drummond has been knocked out of the playoffs. There's no way, right? Van Drummond and James Thurston have been knocked out of the playoffs here in the SRL Blaze Designs Cup Series. I'm not even going to go on standby for this. Let's see how close this battle between Sean Rowe and James Thurston was. Because I said earlier, I said it twice, because once when I was muted accidentally, that a matter of inches was going to determine who wins and who goes home. Thurston, I mean, just dooring Sean Rowe. Sean Rowe holding on for dear life. And, I mean, they're basically locked bumpers right now. And coming to the line, that is what decides Sean Rowe advancing and James Thurston, the 1 seed, not making it. But your top 3 is Dominic Barbagallo, Matthew C.U. White, and Daniel Rivera. A very outstanding win for Dominic Barbagallo, as that is one of the craziest things I have seen in my time broadcasting. Let me ping these drivers getting ready for the interviews. So please stand by for just 1 second. All right, we are back. And let me get our first person into the interview booth. Race winner Dominic Barbagallo coming home after a crazy green-white checkered finish. You got a copy, Dominic?
Yeah, I do.
So, a pretty statement win here at Talladega. I mean, what was your mindset coming in? I mean, you're already locked into the next round, but you possibly can't be happy with a win at Dega.
I won. It's all I got. It's Dega. It's crap happens. it's one of those tracks. Mindset was stay in the back most of the race, and then I gave up on that when I had to take a fast repair. So
Yeah. So on that green white checkered, what was your game plan?
I kind of know who worked with who was gonna work with who, and my whole goal was just to keep them away from each other. And I think I did a decent job at it because I'm standing here in the victory booth. So I think I did a good job.
Yeah, you certainly did a good job, my man. Before we let you go and celebrate your win, do you have any people or sponsors that you want to thank?
I like to first of all, Caleb McKinney, incredible race, absolutely should have won, but he got wrecked. Aaron ran half the season, then went to college. I'm so proud of him. Matthew Brower, I don't know where he's been, but I'm happy for him. I like to thank whoever pushed me to the line. I wish I could see it, but I can't because my replay isn't working. That's it. That's all I got. That is all I got. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to win an SRL race for the first time in my life. So.
Well, you heard it from the race winner himself. That's Dominic Barbagallo winning his first SRL Blaze Designs Cup Series race. We'll see you next week, buddy.
See you, Garrett.
All right, and let's see if I can grab Matthew White. Can I? Okay, well, Matthew White is not in the interview booth at the moment, despite finishing in second. And let's see if I can find Daniel Rivera. Okay, so while we wait for Matthew White to possibly join, we got our third place finisher here, the number 8 of Daniel Rivera. You got a copy, buddy?
Hi.
So, a third place finish at Talladega. Explain what happened on that final restart to get up into the into the podium, into where you are right now.
Well, it was really simple. I just pushed whoever was in front of me and hope I didn't die.
And
whoever was in front of me, I just pushed them all the way, and then it ended up going well for me.
And sometimes that's all you gotta do to get to get to where you finish, and that's what Dominic Barbagallo did to get to the win, and you got to third place. So, what was your game plan for the entire race? Like, were you just wanted to ride in the back most of the time until the end?
Yeah, I just wanted to survive the race because the people who do well at Talladega are always there at the end. The best super speedway racers are always there at the end. So that's what I just wanted to do. Just wanted to survive, make it to the end, and have a shot at it, hopefully.
Well said. Before we let you go to celebrate your win, or not your win, your third place finish, do you have any people or sponsors that you want to thank?
I just want to thank my 2 friends who were also in the race. They're just great friends. I just want to thank them, and let's go.
All right, short and sweet, just like Daniel Rivera likes it. That is third place finisher Daniel Rivera finishing out a very strong finish here at Talladega. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and since Matthew C. White does not want to join the broadcast booth, let's do something that I forgot to do, and let's go through your results. So, winning the race was the number 17 of Dominic Barbagallo. In second was Matthew White. In third place, Daniel Rivera. First car out of the podium was the 072 of Jordan Herring. Rocky Boyd making some highlight saves, finishes up in the top 5. Connor Aswell, pretty quiet race, finishing up in 6th. Tyler Curley led a lot of the race and then is rewarded with a 7th place finish. Cole Denton finishing in 8th. Sean Rowe by 2/100ths of a second ekes out James Thurston for 9th place, and that is what decides Sean Rowe going on to the next round of the playoffs, and James Thurston as the 1 seed to go home. And then let's go to the next one. Finishing in 11th is a 92 of Adam Contreras, with Edwin Mendez in the 460 finishing in 12th. Blaze McKinney in 13th. Riley Garcia, Matt Rucci. Matt Rucci's had a roller coaster race, finishing in 15th. Joseph Lewis, he makes it to the next round of the playoffs, beating Van Drummond, who wrecked on the final lap, in 16th place. Glenn Bundren Jr., quiet race for him after getting, besides getting ping-ponged around, finishing in 17th place. Aaron Schugel in the 91 in 18th. Jason Beckman in his first start, in 19th. And Michael Deitch in 20th. First driver outside the top 20 was playoff driver Henry Kaloff. Behind him was Corey Lyles, then John Jones, Zaid Khan, and Andretti Robinson finishes in 25th. Jockey Tarpley in 26th. Trevor Huff, he was in 5th at the restart, but I think he might have gotten in the final lap accident, and he will finish in 27th. Juan Escamilla and Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson led a good chunk of this race and then is handsomely, sarcastically said, rewarded with a 29th place finish. Evan Allen in 30th. Peyton Carroll has a pretty rotten race, all race, ending up in 31st. And Brady Wildman, who started on pole, finishes in 32nd. Nicholas Martinez Jr. in 33rd, and a little bit of a weird scoring error with Jaden Porter in 34th. Van Drummond is out of the playoffs after wrecking on the final lap in 35th. Hayden Wilfred, then Caleb McKinney, and Jonathan Baker round out your finishers. The first car to not finish was the 81 of Pierce Maffitt, followed by Michael Kenner in 40th. And then 41st, Noah Hamilton. 42nd, Justin Rott. And then finishing in last is Connor Zola. Then Aiden McNeely, Xander McKinney, Dylan J. Poss, and Francis Henderson did not qualify for the race. So let's get this out of the way. Scenic. So, with that being said, that wraps up today's broadcast of the SRL Blaze Design Cup Series at Talladega. It was a long and crazy race, and we got a Talladega finish as a reward. But my name is Garrett Hess. I'm the one broadcasting this. Big shout out to SKS Graphics for their help with the tickers. The ticker issues were not the fault of SKS Graphics. It was the fault of the application I was using. If you need ticker help, go to SKS Graphics. Great group of guys over there. They'll help you with anything that you need help with. But